Kailem, how are you?
Yeah, really good. Thanks, Dave.
Good. Flight was good coming in?
Very good. Long as usual, coming from Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Well, welcome to DTW Copenhagen.
Yeah.
Thanks for speaking with me here today. OSS,
Mm.
it's evolving. What are you hearing from customers as far as their challenges, some of the obstacles when they're transforming?
Yeah. So I think digital transformation today is not really a technology challenge, right? If you look at the automation products that are in the marketplace, technology is the least of the issues really inhibiting digital transformation. I look at the big issues really being process and the cultural changes that need to happen within telecom operators. So deploying the technology, sure, you can do that. But if you don't evolve the processes that are around the technology, you try and implement old processes into new technology, you don't get a net benefit, right?
Sure.
The second piece on that is the cultural change that needs to happen. Today, culturally, telecom operators have their network, their operations, their IT teams very siloed. As these new technologies start to get implemented, you need to start to break down those silos to really leverage the technology and get the outcome you want. So for me, the big thing is technology, sure, is one part, but it's not the biggest challenge we face. Dealing with the process and the cultural issues within the operators is really what is required to achieve this vision of digital transformation.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. And with the introduction of AI, I feel like that even gets more impactful because you're really looking at how AI is going to change some of those processes.
I agree.
Yeah. Talk to me a little bit about agentic AI when we're talking about how that starts to play into OSS. Where do you see the future of OSS going?
Yeah, so it's an interesting question because this whole concept of the autonomous network, right? Let's be honest, we've been talking about this for a good 10 years, right? It's nothing new. I remember when I first joined Blue Planet, the autonomous network was the buzz back then. So we've been on a journey as an industry, but not actually many operators have been able to implement this concept of the autonomous network. Why, right?
Yeah.
I put it down to two things. The first one is the cost historically to implement the automation solutions to achieve the vision has outweighed the benefit, right? And that's been a huge inhibitor, right? That is changing with agentic AI, right? Agentic AI is not only bending the productivity curve to get benefits, but it's bending the cost curve also, making the implementation of automation solutions that can allow operators to achieve level 4 autonomy be absolutely critical. So I think you're starting to see this flood of projects now start to implement and execute because the barrier to entry for operators to implement automation that achieves that vision through agentic is starting to become real. So I believe there's going to be three huge shifts that are going to allow operators to achieve this level 4 autonomy. The first one is this shift through agentic AI from rules to reasoning, right? Breaking down rules-based automation, if, then, and, or yes, no rules, into context-aware agent-based outcomes. That really moves the operator from NetOps to AIOps. The second area is this concept of moving from linear workflows to agentic outcomes. Again, breaking down BPM-type workflows into agents that can delegate and create workflows on demand. And then the third area is this concept of humans in the loop to humans on the loop, right? Instead of humans in not reacting to what's happening in the network, agents will take care of that, and the role of humans will be to absolutely supervise that. And I think that's the final step in getting to that vision of an autonomous network and level 4 autonomy.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, when we talk about humans in the loop, we're talking about governance, explainability, traceability of the agents, what they're doing. So, how is Blue Planet looking at giving the operator the control, yet the autonomy? Like, where's the balance there?
Yeah. So I think it's a really important point. I think as an operator and an ex-ops guy myself, I used to run network operations teams for 20, 30 years. And there's a consistent DNA within the operations team of anybody that works in it. They're crusty guys, they're cynical, they're worried about giving control up to something that will execute off a false positive or a false negative and blow up the network, right? Let's be honest.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the NOC will always be the team that will resist change because their jobs are on the line if things get wrong, right? But also they know that they need to evolve, right? So I think this process of leveraging agents in the network, and first and foremost, is going to be visibility, right? Allowing the operations team to understand the visibility, but not implement the change through agents themselves. So once the visibility and that they can identify that things are the way they are, then I think what you'll see is partial closed loops start to get implemented in the NOC, where the agent may make the recommendation, but the operator gets to inspect it and hit the button before
Absolutely.
it happens. I think that phase is going to go on for many, many years. And then once that trust is built up and the governance is in place, then the operator will slowly give the control over to the agent. But always, I think, still be in a supervisory capacity, because if an hallucination happens or they do automate off a false positive and something blows up, the operator needs to be the one that's held accountable, not the agent.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. I mean, especially when we're talking about mission critical communications and the networks, like having a network go down because an agent did something, that's not a good excuse for the customers. Yeah, absolutely.
I like to say, as it relates to AI and agentic AI, it's almost like we're going to hold AI to a higher standard than the operations team themselves. Yep. Operators today get things wrong. Let's be honest. Yep. Networks blow up because operators fat finger a change into a device and they do it wrong and it blows up, right? We deal with that as an industry again and again. If an agent does that same thing, I can guarantee the paranoia, the concerns will be off the chart. So I do think we're absolutely going to hold agents and agentic AI to a higher standard than that we hold humans because of the paranoia in the industry.
Yeah. Oh, it's absolutely just like self-driving vehicles. Yeah. We're holding, one accident from an autonomous vehicle is catastrophic.
Absolutely.
When there's tens of thousands of accidents with humans.
Yeah.
So it's that same level of, we have a higher level of expectations for
we do.
Our agents.
Absolutely, for the technology.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, Kailem, I think this has been a good discussion on evolving OSS today, and I want to thank you for your time.
No, thank you for having me.
All right. Take care. Yep.